All right, this is the next episode of True Wrestling Fan Discussion. Continue our Clash of the Champions review series. It's going to be WCW Clash of the Champions 25. I'm your host, Mike.
I'm Frank. Man, let's get into it. November 10th, 1993. We're 10 days out from Battle Bowl, which will be on November 20th. This was also Mean Gene Okerlund's first Clash of the Champions.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, he'll be with his counterpart in the following Clash when Bobby the Brain Heenan makes his first debut at Clash 26. You got Tony Schiavone and Jesse the Body Ventura doing the commentary from St. Petersburg, Florida. All WCW titles were on the line tonight, so here we go. On the opening match for the World Heavyweight Championship or the WCW International Championship. Ravishing Rick Rude versus Road Warrior Hawk. And two things that I'm going to say right off the bat. Number one, I found this match kind of appalling because it's the opening match. It's a world title. And I don't know, I just didn't get with Hawk being the challenger for it.
Yeah,
it's just something about it.
Yeah, I mean, they had already started to feud, but the thing was, Hawk was injured. He had a knee injury going into this match, so he couldn't really move. I kind of understood why you opened the match with the World Heavyweight title match, because you had two. You had the WCW World Heavyweight title, and then you had the World Heavyweight title. So I understand you open it with a big title and you end it with a big title. I get it. I mean, it's Rude, though. I would have liked to have seen Rude in the main event. Also, now this is, they're still calling it the World Heavyweight title, but they're gonna start referring to this as the international title shortly. This is the former NWA championship. For those who don't know, that became the international title when the NWA withdrew from WCW, and they
conveniently after Rick Rude won it.
Yeah, it happened right there where Rude was gonna get it. They didn't want Rude to carry the title for whatever.
And Schiavone actually made reference to it. You know, they had the International Board of Directors for this World Championship, so he made sure he put that little.
Yeah, it was a made up thing, but yeah.
But despite Hawk's knee injury, he still kind of put on a impressive performance against Ravishing Rick Rude. It was a very short match, about 5.5 minutes. Hawk clotheslined Rude to the outside. Hawk followed him out there. They kept fighting out there, which resulted in a double countout. So Rick Rude keeps the title due to the countout. So unfortunately, we didn't get a victor in this one.
I want to mention before I forget, although I'm probably not going to forget because at the end they mentioned his name. So at this point, Sid had stabbed Arn Anderson. That famous incident happened a few weeks prior to this. He's mentioned later on in the pay-per-view. He's not officially fired yet, but they have him set up for a tag team match Saturday. He's got 1 foot out the door. He doesn't even wrestle in that match, from what I understand. Arn Anderson replaced him. How Arn Anderson healed from getting stabbed is, I guess he must have been like Wolverine, because that was a crazy story. But the shame of it is that he's on his way out. That's why he's not here this night.
Yeah, and they did the whole thing with later on Rob Parker with the with restraining order and whatnot, and then they mention him again later. We'll get into that. Next match on the card, oh boy, it was the Shockmaster versus the Equalizer, and
why is this even on this card?
Would you prefer it on the pay-per-view?
Put it on Saturday night.
I would prefer it not at all, but
I'm just saying.
I guess they're still trying to make him relevant. It would help that if the commentators didn't, the cheap shots. They keep, because they remember the fans started the whoop, there it is, and of course Jesse and Tony are making reference to the last clash of him falling on his ass. It would help if they didn't do that.
Yeah, but look who you put him against.
A bum. A legitimate
I checked
bum.
out. I checked out mentally during this match. I checked out.
I think everybody in that arena checked out, because this was 2.5 minutes of pure crap. I mean, Shockmaster with the big squeeze and gets the pin. Looked like I don't know. But pretty much, if they were trying to save the gimmick, it was dead in the water. Last Clash of the Champions. There was no fixing it. Sorry, either rebrand them or terminate them.
Dude, it was snake bit from the jump, dude.
Yeah,
it was destined to fail.
So following that, Mean Gene Okerlund interviewed Colonel Robert Parker, who had mentioned that Parker had dropped Sid Vicious and picked up Stunning Steve Austin. And Parker had a restraining order on Sid Vicious, and of course, Mean Gene's trying to tell him, "Oh, well, I think he's lurking around the building." He goes, "Well, I don't have any security out here." And he starts, with this little handkerchief thing. We all wanted Sid Vicious to beat the holy hell out of him, but again, we all know Sid right now is in name recognition only.
He's lucky not to be in jail.
Seriously, I mean that was a very, very dumb move on his part.
Yeah. I mean, supposedly. If the story
checks out,
supposedly he grabbed the scissors from Arn and he stabbed him. But
Arn Anderson will not come forward. He has never.
He doesn't want to talk about it.
He's never done an interview in regards to this. I know
Dark Side of the Ring. Should be Dark Side of the Ring. Could you imagine?
I was just going to mention that. I remember. I could be wrong. That I thought I saw an article or something that Arn said he refused to talk about it if they wanted to do
possible.
it. So,
yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah.
I mean, it would make a great Dark Side of the Ring.
Incredible.
Scissors on a pole match on Starrcade.
Jesus Christ.
Tell me about it. Next match on the card for the television title, we had Lord Steven Regal defending the title against Johnny B. Bad. During this match, Tony Schiavone had announced that the British Bulldog had challenged Ravishing Rick Rude for the World Heavyweight title, International title. I'm just gonna say World Heavyweight title. I don't care what they say.
World Heavyweight title. They didn't call it the International title here, so we could just say it the World Heavyweight.
Yeah, not yet. It's coming.
But yeah.
But they wanted to. They didn't know whether or not Rick Rude had accepted the challenge yet. We're gonna find out later on. During this match, this match, was pretty good. It was a lot of mat technical wrestling with Regal and Johnny B. Bad was able to adapt. I did like the little charade going on where Bad supposedly knocks out Regal. Sir Williams getting up on the apron, telling him that, he hit him with a closed fist. Ventura's irate. He's saying the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So Johnny B. Bad goes for the cover. Rather than the referee is doing the 10 count, he goes for the cover. I love how he grabs the wrong leg to cover. This way Sir William can put the other leg over the rope. And without anybody looking, Steven Regal rolls up, just gets right up, rolls up Johnny B. Bad, hooks the tights, gets the 1, 2, 3, and successfully defends the television title against Johnny B. Bad. Kind of a little cheesy ending there, but it was cute. It was, I don't know. I thought it was amusing. I got a little laugh out of it. Yeah. So next on the card, and Jesse Ventura did not want to commentate this because it was his favorite tag team that had imploded. And no, we ain't talking about the Mega Powers. No. The Hollywood Blondes going at it.
Damn it.
Brian Pillman versus Stunning Steve Austin.
Should have never split them up.
No. And at first, remember the whole thing where Austin was interviewed and he had said that he was told that he was going to be given a tag team partner. He said, I don't want a tag team partner. Right. Then after months being with Pillman, we're going to break you up. I want to be with Brian.
All right, yeah.
I think they should have kept them together, considering their tag team division.
Yeah, at least a little longer. Yeah.
It's not crap, but at least watching them maybe feuding with the Nasty Boys or Harlem Heat going forward would have been interesting to see. Not even about a year, maybe a shy under that they're together. I think if you had them together just a little bit longer, then split them up, it would have been more impactful, and you could even have done this on a grand stage as a pay-per-view instead of a clash.
Yeah, I agree.
But Pillman did not care. As soon as Austin got to the ring, he started the onslaught on him. The referee, he had a lot of leeway in this match. He let them fight it out. Schiavone was happy about that. Good for him. I think this should have honestly, they talked about it being a grudge match. I think this should have just been an out, no disqualification, street fight. Just let them beat the holy hell out of each other. Let's get it out of their system. Let's just do it. But unfortunately, it was a regular match. But like I said, the referee gave a lot of leeway into this. Pillman, he attacked Austin off the top rope onto the ramp. Tried to anyway. Austin countered it and then threw him off the ramp into the guardrail. So now we got a little hardcore thing going here. Austin, now this is funny as the match came to an end, and I flipped this back a few times just to make sure it wasn't an error. It was actually this is the way it was supposed to go down. At least that's the way it looked like to me. When Austin went for the stun gun on Pillman, he did it a little closer to the rope to where he got Pillman over the top rope. I thought at first it was a mistake, but I was that it may be an error. And I was like, no, let me go back and look at this again. He wasn't in the right spot that he normally would
Right,
be in,
right, right.
so I'm believing this was planned. Now, as Pillman was going to slingshot himself over the top rope, Colonel Robert Parker grabbed his foot, which Pillman then hit his head on the mat, and Austin got the pin and gets the victory. I thought this was a little cheesy way of ending it with a simple move like that. Robert Parker getting involved, I don't have any issue with. It
No.
makes perfect sense for him to do it. Just that this was the way to get the pin. I didn't understand that. But Austin gets the victory. Now, following it, Pillman still was in the fighting mood, went after Austin, and then tried to get Robert Parker. He'll get his hands on Parker at the next Clash of Champions, trust me. He's not getting away from Pillman. Now, following that, Mean Gene Okerlund was talking about the upcoming Battle Bowl in 10 days. Plus, they had comments from Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff in regards to Battle Bowl, as well as from the 1991 winner, Sting. And then, of course, over the course of the night, Mean Gene was talking about on his hotline, vote for Manager of the Year like anybody cared. So, speaking of Paul Orndorff, our next match on the card for the United States title, Dustin Rhodes with Daddy in the corner, Dusty Rhodes, taking on the number one contender, Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff, with Mr. Assassin number one in his corner. And Dusty and the Assassin wanted to go at it right away. I almost thought this could have been a tag team match.
Should have been.
Now, this is all stemming from Slamboree back in May, the comments that Assassin made in regards to Dusty. Always been a hateful relationship here. I mean, you might as well just have given them a 5-minute match. Just let them go at it.
Should have.
They did anyway. But this match itself, I was actually pretty impressed with this, the way Dustin and Orndorff handled themselves in the ring together. It ended again, kind of a little cheesy, but it made sense. Rhodes rolled up Orndorff and got the pin. This was after both men tried their finishing moves, and neither one of them was successful. Orndorff was able to dodge the Bulldog, and of course, Dustin Rhodes was able to maneuver out of the pile driver from Orndorff. So Dustin Rhodes was able to roll him up, get the pin, successfully defend the United States title. Now it's afterwards that got even more interesting. Assassin then comes in and attacks Dustin and Dusty, and now Dusty Rhodes and Assassin are going at it. He tries to take the mask off of the Assassin. I don't think that thing was ever coming off. Orndorff hits him with a roll of tape, looked like, and then they just went to town with him. Assassin wanted him pile drove. You remember Assassin hit him with the U.S. title as well, and then Dustin came in for the save. They really should have did a work with this, a tag team match going forward, because I mean the animosity here, in the words of Mean Gene, you can cut it with a knife. I mean, this storyline is not over, not for all four of these men. So, but I was one of the rare times with Orndorff that I was impressed with his wrestling abilities in the ring, and Dustin Rhodes, who's still a couple of years in the business with a veteran like Orndorff, it really did work. Now, our next match on the card was an interesting one for the WCW Tag Team titles, the Nasty Boys with Missy Hyatt against the number one contenders, Sting and the British Bulldog, or the 1993 Allied Powers instead of Luger.
Pretty much, yeah. I like Sting and Bulldog together.
I did. Now, before the match started, Bulldog and Sags were on the ramp. Rude comes down. I guess we got his answer as far as the challenge goes, because he gave the Rude Awakening to the British Bulldog, and the Bulldog was pretty much incapacitated for most of this match. Hawk actually came down to get rid of Rude. So for the most part during this match, Sting did fight a handicap match. As Bulldog is down in their corner. All of a sudden, tag me, I'm in, and he does. He was like a house of fire. Now all of a sudden, the cobwebs cleared out of Bulldog's head. He had the power slam on Knobs. Now, naturally, the referee trying to get Sting out of the ring, which Sting was already out of the ring, and he's still admonishing him for it. That allowed Sags to go off the top rope with an elbow drop while Bulldog was going for the cover. Knobs was able to roll over on Bulldog, and the Nasty Boys keep the WCW Tag Team titles.
Damn it.
Yeah. That's one match I was actually looking forward to with a title change. Unfortunately, we did not get it. So, and of course, following that in the back, Colonel Robert Parker telling Ric Flair that Stunning Steve Austin has challenged the winner of the next match for the WCW title, and he was hoping that it would be Nature Boy Ric Flair. Flair didn't take kindly to Parker, decked him. He goes, I don't know what the hell he's doing back here. You know, him and Fifi are heading to the ring because our main event of the evening, the WCW title, Vader defending the title against the Nature Boy Ric Flair. And man, this was nothing short of spectacular, this one. And of course, before the match even started, this was in the commercial break that they had before the match started. Ric Flair finally had enough of Harley Race's BS, put the figure four leg lock on him, but this hurt him temporarily as Vader splashed him. And that kind of put Flair out of commission for a little while, and Vader was able to go to work on him. Flair finally was able to get the figure four on Vader, but Race, raked Flair's eyes, which the referee did not see, so the hold was broken.
Damn it.
Now here's where it gets real interesting, and I love the botch to come. Flair threw Vader into the corner. As Vader's coming out of the corner, he goes to clothesline Flair. Flair ducks. He clotheslines the referee. Now the referee's out. We've seen this before. Vader superplex Flair off the top rope. Super suplex, if I'm even saying it right. Superplex, there you go. Tongue twister. Off the top rope, which was very impressive. Goes for the moonsault. He misses it. Now, Flair goes for the cover. It looked like, because as the referee's crawling over, you hear his hand really hitting the mat, and you hear a 3 count. The bell rings. Flair thinks he's won the WCW title. Then the referee goes and says, oh, no, Vader's been disqualified. But when you walked over, probably planned. It's WCW. You'd have to say that because there's too many botches in this place. In any event, after the match, Parker and Austin came down and attacked Flair. Shockingly, Dustin Rhodes and the Shockmaster, no pun intended by the way, came down and helped clear the ring. But Vader keeps the title. Ric Flair wins by disqualification. And of course, after the match, Mean Gene was in the ring interviewing Ric Flair. Sat on the upcoming Saturday night wrestling show. Flair challenged Vader and Austin, and his partner would be allegedly Sid Vicious,
right?
Which we all know it's not going to be.
I don't understand why they did that, knowing that what was going on.
It made it sound like Sid was still here, but
he was still
in reality,
there,
he wasn't.
Right.
Because
he was about to get canned. He was about to get canned. It was like,
if you're still using his name, then he should have been.
I have no idea. Exactly. I have no idea why they did that. No idea. So
maybe they weren't sure yet. Maybe it's still investigating. Who knows? At this point, they could have sent him home and be like, "We'll let you know," and then they let him know.
Yeah.
So, but until then, it's the business as usual, and this is what we have slated for you. And then once we get to Saturday night, if something happens, well, we'll adjust the card.
Yeah, we'll call you. We'll call you. Somebody tells you we'll call you. That means
you're done.
You're out of there.
You're finished.
So
put your resume into Vince.
This clash was a little disappointing because on paper they had a lot of star power. I mean, the main event was good. There
was a lot of star power.
But I don't know. I didn't think it was. I mean, it wasn't terrible. It wasn't terrible.
Too many cheesy endings.
Yeah.
Botched.
The finishes. The finishes. Yeah. Took away from the show. Hawk being injured too. Hawk being compromised physically, and even Hawk being in that match. I mean, it just for him to get a title shot, it just didn't feel earned.
Yeah, it's you don't really think of Hawk and Animal from the Legion of Doom getting world title shots, and yet when you see them in that picture, you're like, okay. It's like was there nobody else? If Hawk was injured, they should have just pulled an audible and put somebody else in there,
right.
And let them fight it out with Rick Rude and give him, they could have had a better match, but I mean, it was what it was.
Yeah. All right, well, that's our review. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. We'll see you guys soon.
Take care.